scripture reading from Genesis chapter 29, verses 15 to 20. You can find it in the Bible on pages 33 and 34. After Jacob had been there for a month, Laban said to him, "You shouldn't have to work without pay, just because you are a relative of mine. What do you want me to give to you?" Laban had 2 daughters. Leah was older than Rachel, but her eyes didn't sparkle, while Rachel was beautiful and had a good figure. Since Jacob was in love with Rachel, he answered, "If you will let me marry Rachel, I'll work 7 years for you." Laban replied, "It's better for me to let you marry Rachel than for someone else to have her. So stay and work for me." Jacob worked 7 years for Laban, but the time seemed like only a few days because he loved Rachel so much. Jacob said to Laban, "The time is up, and I want to marry Rachel now." So Laban gave a big feast and invited all their neighbors. But that evening, he brought Leah to Jacob, who married her and spent the night with her. Laban also gave Zilpah to Leah as her servant woman. The next morning, Jacob found out that he had married Leah, and he asked Laban, "Why did you do this to me? Didn't I work to get Rachel? Why did you trick me?" Laban replied, "In our country, the older daughter must get married first. After you spend this week with Leah, you may also marry Rachel. But you will have to work for me another 7 years." At the end of the week of celebration, Laban let Jacob marry Rachel, and he gave her his servant woman Bilhah. And Jacob loved Rachel more than he did Leah, but he had to work another 7 years for Laban. That's the word of God.
For those of you who were not here last week, let me kind of recap the story. This is the story of, I would think, one of the world's most dysfunctional families, okay? You have Rachel and Isaac, and they finally have some babies. They're twins. And one comes out just a little bit earlier than the other, so he's the eldest son. And so he's supposed to get all the goodies. That's the way they did things back in those days. So he was to get what is called a birthright, a blessing, and most of the property. Well, Mommy had her favorite, and that was Jacob. And he was like 20 minutes younger than his brother. And so Mom always favored Jacob. She loved him. He used to hang around with her in the kitchen. They were just such close friends. And then Dad, on the other hand, like Esau. Esau was a man's man. He'd go out there and hunt, and he was kind of all hairy and masculine-like, and that's who Dad liked. And so Mom decided that she wanted her little sweetheart, little Jacob, to get the birthright and the blessing and everything. So she connived to have him put goat's hair on his arms, Jacob the voice, and so asked for the blessing. And so when Mom sent him out, here's Dad, he's blinded now, he really can't see very well. And he can't hear very well either. I mean, the guy's really old. And so it's like, "Dad?" And so Dad goes, "Who is this?" "It's Esau." "Oh yeah, well, come here closer, I want to feel you." So he feels it. Oh, nice and hairy, so that has to be the right kid. And he's asking for his blessing and birthright, which he then gives him. But then what happens is when the brother gets home, the other brother, Esau, and finds out what his brother Jacob had done, let's just say he wasn't exactly happy. Anyone ever hear of sibling rivalry? This was to the max. And so anyway, Mom gets wind of the idea that Esau would like to kill his brother. So she says, "Jacob, get out of here fast. You can go to my brother Laban's house, and he'll take care of you and everything will be find. So go, fast. And so he eventually goes to, it was his Uncle Laban's house. He gets there, and Uncle Laban says, you know, you're a relative of mine, and I really should, you know, pay you for something, give you something for working for me, so what would you like? Ooh, I would like Rachel. Rachel was real hot back in those days, and so he wanted her. So then, Laban said, well, you'll have to work for 7 years before you can have Rachel. So he was just working away, and just, oh, you know, 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, the count goes down. Finally, year 7, Uncle Laban, I've worked my 7 years. When do I get Rachel? Oh, we'll have a big feast, and we'll do it right now. So they invite everyone to this big feast, because that's the way they did things. You think wedding receptions are a little kind of carried away now? Nothing like that. So, they had their big feast. Now the Bible doesn't say this, but I figure that Jacob really had a few too much of the Manischewitz. I really think so. Because Uncle Laban pulls a switcheroo. And instead of giving him Rachel, he gives him Leah, the older daughter. And the one he really wasn't in love with. And so...
No sound.
I know it. Why?
You're on.
What happened?
You're on.
Am I on?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so he gives him the older daughter, who he really doesn't want that much. And so in the morning, he figures out that it's not Rachel. Now, if he had all his senses with him, I think whether she wore a scarf across her face or not, you would know the difference, right? Wouldn't you know? Because people have different body types. Anyway, when he realizes what had happened, he comes to Uncle Laban. How dare you? You told me I could work for Rachel, and then now you gave me Leah. Well, in our country, it's a custom that the oldest daughter must get married first. But if you work for me another 7 years, I'll give you Rachel by the end of this week. So he finally gets Rachel, which makes him happy. And then he has to work another 7 years. Now, what's the point of this story? Lots of points. First of all, what a dysfunctional family. First, he cheats his brother, and now Uncle Laban cheats him. And then as the story continues on, then he cheats Uncle Laban, and then the brothers sell their brother Joseph into slavery. I mean, this is not kind of a family that you would want to say that you came from, okay? But God works through all of this. Even the people that aren't always behaving themselves, right? Right. And you don't have to be a perfect person. Does that make you feel good? You don't have to be perfect. You can be really imperfect. The idea is that we're trying to improve. And as the story goes, Jacob does improve. And he reconciles with his brother at one point, which is really, really wonderful because he's taking a chance. But today I want to talk about patience. Because 7 years waiting for somebody, isn't that a lot of patience?
Yes. Yeah.
And patience really does pay off. While you're being patient, sometimes it doesn't seem that way, does it?
Nope.
But it does. And just think of people that have to be patient. Number one, parents. Being a parent requires a lot of patience. Teaching, I know, been there. Takes a lot of patience. Jesus is our model. Remember the story, which they call the prodigal son, which I have an issue with. That was the third story he told in a series of 3 stories. So many of the people that he told stories to just didn't get it. So, okay, I told you the story about the 99 sheep that were behaving themselves and the one little guy who kind of wanders off. And then he finds him and he's all thrilled the lost one was found. And throws him on his shoulder, has a big party. I can just see some of them. Sir, I don't know what you're talking about. What's the point of it? Well, let me tell you another story. There was this woman who had 10 coins, and one of them got lost, and she's there sweeping away and sweeping away. And she's so thrilled when she finally finds a lost coin. This is the way God is. When he finds those who are lost and they're found. What joy there is. Huh? I still don't get it. All right. There was this father who had these 2 kids. One behaved himself and the younger one was the screwy kid, right? And he took off with all of his money and did all kinds of bad things. Oh, now maybe I get it. Don't you think that takes patience to be able to do that? And in our society that we have today, one of the things that we haven't been patient with is handling money. Credit cards. When I was a little kid, there were no credit cards. But then when credit cards came along, we said, oh, look, they're having a sale at the furniture store. The sofa's on sale. So you buy it on a credit card, and you don't pay off the balance at the end of the month. So what happens? Interest collects. And then you pay a little bit, and each month that you pay it off, you're paying interest. So by the time it's all paid off, it was no sale item at all, because you paid all this money in interest, right?
Yes.
And I've been there, so I'm not preaching like, I'm such a good person, and I've never done anything like that. I went crazy when I was young. I thought credit cards were the neatest things. I had so many clothes. There was a store called Joseph Magnet's. Doesn't exist anymore. Oh, they had such neat stuff. And I went out and bought all this stuff on credit. And guess what? I eventually had to pay it off.
Yeah.
No fun. That's called impatience. Do you know if we didn't have credit cards, what we'd have to do is save our money very consciously, knowing that things could come up. Right? Things could come up, you never know. And I'm guilty still, because I planned on going on vacation, right? But I didn't save up for a rainy day. And my rainy day was all my 4 brakes on my car went out. And then my windshield, somebody hit the windshield, and I had to get a new windshield. All right? That costs money, right? There's my vacation. I wasn't going to go and use any more credit cards and get on a plane and visit my children. I feel bad about it, but I absolutely blame myself. All right? Pastors are very, very imperfect. Okay? Very imperfect. Now, I want to try to think of another example of how patience can really pay off. I have a friend, Norma, who's kind of high-strung, but also a person of great faith. And a number of years ago, she had a lump on her thyroid. And so they were going to do a biopsy. But unfortunately, it was done on a Friday. And you know, when you have something done on a Friday, you don't hear it all right away, do you? Because there's the weekend, and then you have to have people go and test all this stuff out. So she thought she would be different this time. She was talking about the patience of Jesus and said, you know, if he could be patient, and he modeled that, you know, she could probably do it too. So rather than wasting her time worrying and saying, oh my gosh, it's cancer, what am I going to do? She went online and started doing a lot of research. And she learned a lot about thyroid cancer. Number 1, it is not a real fast-growing cancer, so that's good, right? And also, the treatments have been very successful. They take out the thyroid, and of course you have to be on some kind of medication, but that's not the end of the world. And she then actually talked with some people who had had surgery for the thyroid cancer, and they had been very successful, so that kind of calmed her down. And then she also did some research about, what if it isn't thyroid cancer? What if it's something else? What can I do now that I am not worried about cancer? Can I have some way of celebrating? So being very patient this time, not, you know, the nervous type that she normally was. She did her research, she waited. She didn't even hear until I think it was Thursday of the following week that it wasn't cancer, and that was good. So rather than inviting her friends out to an expensive restaurant and, you know, up goes the credit cards, she decided to have a barbecue at her house in the backyard. And she had a wonderful time, and they all celebrated. And she found out one thing: patience really pays off. And getting all nervous and excited about something isn't going to help you any, is it? It's really not going to help you, because it's not going to change the outcome. It's how you handle it that's the important thing. And so, I don't know if I want to use Jacob as a model, waiting 7 years for somebody. Well, when you're young, it seems like forever, doesn't it?
Yes.
Probably in your early 20s or something like that. But being patient really pays off. Whether it's using your money to purchase something and waiting until you actually have the funds, or waiting for an announcement, like a biopsy or some other kind of announcement that you're waiting for. The important thing is that our God is always with us, loving us, blessing us, steadfast love that never goes away. And that with that kind of confidence, and especially with the support of friends in our lives, we can really, truly live blessed, patient lives. Amen.
Amen.
All right.